Last time I checked, I was still a kid. Childish, childish, this all freaks me out a bit. Childish, oh shit, how can I parent when I'm still a kid? Childish, oh shit, who the hell decided I was ready for this?
Hey, my name's Greg Fitzsimmons.
I'm Allison Rosen. I'm confident that I'm Allison Rosen, whereas Greg, you sound uncertain.
Maybe I'm having an existential dilemma where I think about what does my name really mean? It's an extrapolation of some kind of ethnic identity my parents might have felt.
Right.
And some moniker showing whether or not my family comes from money. Because, you know, Fitz means bastard son of. Like whenever you hear like Fitzgerald, Fitzgibbons, Fitzsimmons.
I didn't know that.
It all means that you were the transplanted son from the Gauls. And they sent their people over to Ireland. And they were given some land because they were noblemen from wherever they came from. But they weren't true Irish, so they were called Fitz, bastard son of.
You know, I didn't know that. I'm just learning this now. However, why didn't the very first person who knew what it meant decide to change their name?
From Fitzsimmons to something else?
To something that doesn't mean bastard son of.
Well,
I'm sorry I've stumped you.
I don't know. It's true. I mean, I think that my family's been disgraced by this my entire life. And I don't know what the answer is. I mean, should we go back to Simmons? Because that was the Gallic name, the Gauls, from the Gauls, which I think are the French.
Yeah, Gauls are French.
Yeah, so I guess the French, it was Simone, Fitzsimmons was Simone.
Gregoire Simone. Gregoire is not a French name, but I've decided it.
Yes, it is. My name in French is Gregoire.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, there you go. Simone.
Yeah.
Think how differently... Could you still be a comedian if that were your name?
I think I could be a comedian no matter what. I don't think I have any other options, depending on my name, where I was born, what was wrong with me. I'm more and more convinced as I try to work on this TV show that I'm commissioned to write that I'm not cut out for jobs of any sort.
Yes. I mean, no. Of course you are, Greg.
I mean, look at me today. I was 15 minutes late for our own podcast.
I know, and you've come down on me for being late. Now,
I know.
Granted, I think I was more than 15 minutes late, but that's back in the in-person days.
Yes.
Which I would like to return to soon, please. But yes. Daniel has a theory, which is not... I'm sure other people have this theory too, but it is one of Daniel's theories that stand-up comedians really... They gravitate toward that because they don't want any kind of real job. Like they're just not cut out for that.
It's not want. I mean, I do want. I would have loved to have an office that I went to every day and an intern that I flirt with and nothing ever really happens, but at least it's masturbatory fodder for later.
Sure.
I've got a coffee cup that says something funny, like how do you soar with the eagles when you work with turkeys? And a parking spot that they stencil my name on the curb. And then one of my friends fucks with it and he crossed a couple letters out so it says Greg Suck Simmons or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a real life, a gold watch at 65.
Right. But so what's going on with the TV show that's making you realize you can't? Is it a problem with authority? Is it a problem with structure? What's going on?
It's all here in this book, Allison Rosen. Feeling
good. The New Mood Therapy by David D. Burns, MD. Oh, wow. That's a thick fucking book.
It's too thick. It's a book about when you have... Almanac. It's a book for cognitive behavioral therapy. This is for people with like ADD. Do you think somebody with ADD can read a 686-page book?
No. Is this the kind of book where you're supposed to... Did you just hurt someone because you tossed it and if it lands on them, it will flatten them?
If I had a real job, that would have happened.
Yes.
With the other employees. Turkeys. Yeah, if I had one of my turkeys around.
You would be called into HR. Is that a book you're supposed to, like, can you look at the index or chapter outline and then find where you need to go? Table of contents, I believe? Or do you need to read it linearly? Because that's not happening.
Well, the first time I read it, I highlighted the things that I thought were the most useful. So now when I go back and reread it, I just go to those.
So what's going on with the job really, though?
Well, it's just the usual, you start to, here's what I do when I get a deal, is because I get overwhelmed by it and whatever low self-esteem issues kick in, I start to minimize the project and I say, this isn't a real deal. This isn't important. It'll never be taken seriously. And then I stop working on it.
And then it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly, Allison Rose. In chapter 13, page 597.
I didn't even have to read it. I just knew. Is that frustrating for your partners?
No, because I show up for him. I do my work, but I don't enjoy it. I'm not throwing myself at it the way I could be if I was having fun.
Yeah, with this podcast, which is super fun.
It is fun. I look forward to this one, even when I'm 15 minutes late. I do. It's effortless.
Podcasting is more and more, I've been thinking lately, podcasting is a real plum gig. We're very lucky that we get to do this.
Yeah.
You also get to do a lot of other cool things, but this especially, to be able to make a living just talking into a microphone is pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean, male stripper was off the table for me.
Because you're too good looking?
Well, the penis is too big and it would be considered obscene.
Right.
And I'd have been run off the stage by the other dancers. They don't want to be around Big Cock Johnson.
Right. What I was going to say is just from a logistics, physics standpoint, you could only ever perform in arenas.
Large clubs. Yeah. Right.
Because a dinner theater, a black box kind of situation, you simply wouldn't fit.
No. And that's where the stage name Big Cock Johnson would come in. Mm-hmm. When you see that, you will go to a bigger venue.
Yes, that's right.
Have you you've never been on a stripper pole, have you?
No.
No, but
I've never even been to a strip club.
No, but I mean, sometimes people have those exercise bars or classes and they get on this. You haven't done that as an exercise? No. I
never have. I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to it, but no, I never have. And speaking of, this goes right into, you're not the only one with problems, Greg. I did 20 minutes of strength training 2 or 3 days ago, and I am so sore. It is ridiculous. And so I've mostly, because I like to, let people know how I feel, just grimacing and moaning every time I move. And Daniel said something to me today. He said, you need to do it again today or tomorrow. And I said, when I'm still this sore?
That's exactly when you do it. You do it while you're sore and it'll make the soreness go away.
Really?
Yep, absolutely.
Like drinking when you have a hangover?
A little hair of the dog. You get in there and do whatever exercise you were doing. Don't do as many, but do some, and your muscles will snap back.
If anyone's watching this, youtube.com/Allison Rosen, you can see how confused my face looks because my muscles are so sore. So the idea of doing more of that, I don't even think I could. But I can try.
You can and you will.
I will.
Well, what exactly training did you do?
So it's the Peloton app, not a sponsor, by the way. And a friend of mine posted on Instagram that she's been doing strength training on the Peloton app. And for the first time in her life, she has abs.
Wow.
And she just turned 47 or 48 or something. And
damn.
I would like to get in on that. So Daniel has the app. So I did a 20-minute strength training video and it involved squats. I forgot what they're called. Squats, lunges from side to side, and then something where you get on the ground and then push yourself forward, almost like a burpee pushover. That was a Freudian slip. A burpee push-up kind of weird thing that I couldn't do very well.
Were you a burping pushover?
I burped and I was pushed over. So I think I really modified it to a low intensity kind of thing. And then later some crunch it on your back, do bicycling, opposite arm to knee kind of thing. And then Elliot came in while I was doing that. And then he did that with me, which was very cute. And then something else. Oh, like modified plank and then like push up, arm, push up, arm. So I did this. It was, all told, because there's like 3-minute, it was like 17 minutes of exercise, which I didn't do steadily. And you would think I like ran a marathon or something with how sore I am. It's insane.
That's a lot. 17 minutes of that kind of intensity is actually a lot.
I guess so. I ride the bike for like 40 to 50 minutes almost every day. And this was maybe just because I'm using different muscles. It was very, very different. I'm going to do it though. I'm going to do it later today because 40 to 50 minutes is a commitment. 17 minutes is not. So I'm going to see if I can do it.
Well, take baby steps, but understand that, you start to get used to the pain as well when you start exercising.
What's weird to me is that there was a period of time where I went to a trainer and I actually did real exercise. And given what's happening, that goes away. I sort of remember it, but my body is acting as if it does not remember it.
I know people that when they do that kind of intense training, they work up to 20 minutes. I think you probably should have done about 10 to start with.
I think so. I just felt like I want some bang for my buck.
So you think this is going to get you laid?
Yes.
I think we should try to get Peloton as a sponsor, first of all. Why are we doing anything in our lives without getting paid for it?
I wonder that every single day, Greg. Are they sponsoring podcasts?
I don't know.
Get in on this.
I don't know.
I just did like a real good read for them. So yeah, contact us. I'm the squishy lady who moans every time she moves. Greg, we didn't even tell people what they're listening to. For all they know, they're listening to WTF right now.
It's true. Except nobody's talked about Cats or Moon Zappa.
Right. They could also be listening to Doug Loves Movies.
Yeah, except nobody's talked about pot or Leonard Malvin, whoever wrote that book.
Leonard Maltin?
Maltin? Is that what it is?
Yeah. They could be listening to You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes.
Yeah, but except nobody's talked about TM or the Dalai Lama.
Right. They could be listening to the Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, except nobody's talked about conspiracy theories or MMA.
They could be listening to Duncan Trussell.
Nobody's talked about transcendental meditation or MMA.
They could be listening to Bert Kreischer.
Nobody's talked about MMA or MMA.
They could be listening to the Jason Ellis show.
Well, now you got me. I don't know what that guy talks about. He wanted me to fight a guy. I had a
MMA.
Well, no boxing. Because I go on that show a lot. He's off the air for some reason. I have no idea why. He must have asked for a big pay raise and Sirius wouldn't give it to him. But he's got a good show and a big following. He's a really fucking, he's got what you would call a brand.
Yeah.
And he's delightful. So there's a guy who also was a producer for me for years named John Matthews. And John used to come on his show sometimes just to interview him. And then he became friends with him and he started training him in boxing. And then he had John challenge me to a boxing match. And I said, yeah, I can kick his ass. He's a nerd. And then, so I said yes. And then my shoulder, I injured my shoulder's been bad for a long time. So I started working out on a heavy bag and I realized I couldn't do it because I can't jab. I can't lift my arm in a way that would jab. So I would have to fight him with one hand. And then I saw videos of John Matthews training with Jason Ellis. And all of a sudden, this nerdy fucking skinny guy was like Mike Tyson. He was going crazy on the bag with anger and tempo and footwork and growling. And I was like, he's not a nerd. He's an animal.
Yeah.
So I canceled the fight.
Stoic, brave, manly.
How dare you?
I'm complimenting you. You always think people are being cynical. No, I was being sarcastic. Has John Matthews kept it up?
Yeah. He takes these monster, 100-mile bike rides. Here's the thing about boxing is for a couple things. Number one, they say everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the face. And then all of a sudden you just cover up and you turn away and you forget all the training that you learned about footwork and jabbing. And then the other thing is it's a marathon. You can exhaust yourself in a minute and then your arms will be hanging and you will get your ass kicked. So if I was going to fight him, and I do want to fight him, I would have to get shoulder surgery and then I would have to seriously get in shape, which I would like to have something with like for you doing your workouts. I mean, you want to feel good about yourself and all that, but there's no fear that you're going to get your ass kicked if you don't do it. And those are the stakes I would need to really get into shape.
Maybe those are the stakes I need to get into shape, though.
You want me to put you in touch with John Matthews?
Maybe can I tap in?
How's your left shoulder?
Fine. I don't need surgery. I mean, I have the least upper body strength of anyone, except now that I'm so sore from the waist down, I've pretty much had to use my upper body to pivot in, to move in bed and stuff. So in a way.
Sounds like Born on the 4th of July or something.
I feel like I'm dragging my lower self around. Yeah, I think that I have what it takes to beat John Matthews to a pulp.
Okay. I'll set it up.
Let him know. I've never heard that. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yep.
I mean, it makes sense, though.
I think it's true in war also. You can do all the army training you want, but as soon as they start shooting at you, half the guys just dive into a fucking foxhole and cover up. That's what I would do. I would desert. I'd be a deserter for sure.
Oh, yeah. I am a proud quitter. I was on the basketball team for 1.5 practices. I didn't have what it took. And I was like, why stick around for, I don't want to do this anymore. So I said, goodbye. There was not a lot of clamoring to keep me on, by the way.
They weren't chasing you out the door?
No, they weren't offering me more tank tops or whatever it is you get. Listen, we have been doing the best show for many minutes now, and we haven't even talked about kids.
All right, let's talk about kids a little bit. How was your 4th of July? Did you do something fun with the boys?
Greg, I did nothing on the 4th of July, but we did do something fun that weekend. On Friday, we went to this place called the Discovery Cube. Have you heard of it?
No.
It is like a big science museum with all these hands-on exhibits that it's for kids, and it's really cool. And we took Elliot and Owen, and I think especially because of this past year, Elliot has not stopped talking about it. Owen enjoyed it also, but it really was more like a more perfect for Elliot. And it was just, I love going anywhere as a family.
Yeah.
And we had the best time. But then July 4th, I could hear lots of fireworks. I kept going outside and staring at the sky and not seeing any. We didn't do anything. What about you?
We went to, my friend was in town, Pete Scott, with his daughters, who I've known, his daughter, Liza, and my daughter, JoJo, and Mike Gibbons' daughter, Sophie,
Mm-hmm.
and then our other friend, George's daughter, were all born within a week of each other.
Wow.
And we were all tight, like great friends, and we all had daughters within a week of each other. So anyway, we got 3 of the 4 daughters together, and one was away. And so that was kind of fun seeing them, 18 years later, almost to the day. And so that was kind of cool. We went to, he had a friend who lives in Santa Monica, right on the edge of the Palisades, has a mansion on the beach. So he's a real estate guy. He's probably worth $100 million or something.
Jeez.
And so they had a full staff. They had a chef, and they have a pool. and they had their own volleyball court, and they had a famous guest who I would say in my list of 10 people that I wanted to meet in my lifetime, one of them walked through the door.
And you're not going to say who it is?
And then Albert Brooks.
Oh, really? For real?
Yeah.
Or as Elliot would say, for real life?
For real life, Albert Brooks walked in the door. And the host told him that I was a comedian, and he walked over and I said, "Oh, hi, Greg Fitzsimmons." And he goes, "Oh, I know you. You got a podcast." And I was like, "Yeah, I do have a podcast. See, it's all paying off now."
That's amazing. That's awesome.
So we sat down and we talked for an hour, and it was unbelievable. He was the most approachable, funny. He was fucking hilarious. This guy's a legend.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he really had an effect on modern comedy as much as any other comedic voice. He's a guy who really has made people want to do interesting, unique comedy. And so it was really cool.
So are you going to have him on your podcast that he's heard of?
You know, he kind of hinted, but I'm so booked up this summer. No, I didn't want to ask him at a party. I just feel like that's bad form at a party to ask somebody to be on your podcast.
Well, it is, but you couldn't follow up with him, or I do get though, like you met him in a social situation, so it feels weird to.
Yeah, I don't want to put him on the spot. I'd rather, for a guy like that, maybe you're right. Maybe I follow up through the host and maybe I send the host an email and say, "Would you mind forwarding this on to Albert?"
Right.
If you deem appropriate.
Nice.
Yeah.
Question. So you go to this guy's house and he has a full staff and a pool and diamond shoes and $100 million, etc. Now, when you're in that kind of situation, do you ever think to yourself, why don't I have this?
No, I know exactly why I don't have that, because I don't work that hard, because I can't be at a job. I can't work, I can't follow through on things. I'm a starter. I'm not a closer. I'm not a perfectionist.
Yeah.
I'm not driven for that.
Are you a perfectionist in a writing room, though?
Somewhat.
Because I would think you would be.
Till it gets to be like the 14th hour of the day, and then I become hey, it's fucking fine.
Yeah. But if it was your thing, like if you're the face of it, I would bet you'd be a perfectionist.
Yeah, I think I am. But not enough. But mixed with the depression. The problem is I have depression.
Yeah. And
it strikes me, and if I'm in the middle of a project, it becomes a struggle just sometimes showing up. And so I've never soared with the eagles because of that.
Because you're surrounded by turkeys?
Well, I'm a turkey. Let's not kid ourselves. I'm not an eagle. I'm a fucking turkey.
I am watching Sopranos right now. I don't know if you've heard of this
for the
show,
first
Greg.
time.
It's very good. So, yes, actually.
Wow.
I watched through season 4 years ago.
Okay.
And then I was a guest on a Sopranos podcast that's coming out this week on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
And it was a season 5 episode. So I was like, oh, this is great. Now this is giving me reason to go back and finally finish it. And so went back and rewatched season 4, and now I'm near the end of season 5. I know I had Jamie Lynn Sigler on my show. I had Robert Eiler on my show. They played the kids. It's kind of insane that I had never seen the whole thing. But anyway, very into it. But anyway, Melfi says to Tony, or maybe Tony repeats her. I forget. Depression is just rage turned inward.
Yeah, I can see that.
Do you think that's true?
I think
depression is just anger turned inward.
I could say it's that, but it's also biological. I think there's a chemical aspect to it as well.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. And it's just a weird, not that it's all situational or even situational at all, but it's a weird time right now. This pandemic has been weird. Right now, this sort of what are we doing is weird. You're out on the road, right?
Not that much. In August, I'll start going back out again. I'm around in July. But I'm running around the city doing spots. But
how have they been?
They've been good. I'm I feel like I'm getting my groove. I need to sit down and do some serious writing. I want to do some new material. I had a lot of new material, but it was all about COVID, and audiences are finished listening to COVID material. They don't want to hear it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I got to chuck that 20 minutes that I've been working on.
That sucks.
It's fine because I like writing. I just need to make myself do it.
Yeah.
I want to soar with
Greg,
the Eagles, Allison.
I want you to soar with the Eagles. When I heard fireworks on July 4th and I came outside and I looked up, even though Daniel kept saying we can't see them from here, and I'm like, God damn it, I'm going to see them. I wish that I looked up and saw fireworks, and if not fireworks, I wanted to see Greg Fitzsimmons up there.
Yeah.
Soaring with the Eagles.
Right.
You know what would put a spring in your step, Greg?
Bouncy shoes?
No. If you're, you know what? This is a very bad segue, and I consider myself the queen of segues. So I don't know what just happened, but just like a super powerful orgasm that you could have as a couple, or that your wife could have by herself. Here's the thing, Greg. I don't know if you know this, but women are 4 times more likely than men to say sex has not been all that pleasurable in the past year.
Not the women that were with me in the past year.
Well, okay, but still, I'm just telling you, this is just a fact. It's a stat. Now, I get that you have your own separate Fitzsimmons run polling service.
But I wasn't with 4, though. So you said 3 out of 4 said it was not as good?
No, I said women are 4 times more likely than men to say this. So, but 4 out of 5 women that Greg has been with are saying no. It's been amazing this past year.
And that other one is a lesbian.
Here's the thing, Greg. As a woman, I am tired of sex toys that are made by men.
Oh,
Get
shit.
out of here with that.
Yeah.
I want sex toys made by women who know what women want. Enter Dame. Dame Products is a woman-founded company making toys for sex that close the pleasure gap, the one that I just mentioned, of women feeling like sex hasn't been that great this past year. Developed and tested by real people with vulvas in Dame Labs. They're engineered to bring your solo and couple play to new heights. And they're making the world a happier place, one vagina at a time. If you go to their website, you can see all the different sex toys they have. But one that I would just like to draw your attention to is called the Eva. It's a couples vibrator. And it's like a little egg-shaped, oval-shaped vibrator. And it's got these flexible wings. So
I'm
it's
familiar with
hands-free.
it. They sent this to my house.
Yeah. Yes.
Here's how weird my life is. This was sent to my house in an unmarked box with no labeling, no like, hey, this is a new sponsor.
Right.
And Erin's like, what's this? And I go, I don't know. I guess it's a new sponsor. And then I used it on her. And who else would use something that just shows up in the mail without asking any questions?
Greg
and now you're wondering, why is my wife not part of the women who are saying they were not satisfied last month? Because I got this product in the mail.
It's amazing.
It's
right?
Unbelievable.
Hands free.
Yep.
Just set it and forget it and go about your business.
It allowed me to give her a round of applause when she had an orgasm without, yeah.
And she could join in.
Yep.
With her. Anyway, and also satisfaction guaranteed. If you don't like what you got, return it. So go to dameproducts.com/childish today for 15% off site-wide. Again, go to dameproducts, DAME products.com/childish today for 15% off site-wide.
Unbelievable. I'm so happy I know where I got that from now and who to thank, or who my wife should thank.
Yeah. You both should.
Yeah, it took the pressure off me, that's for sure. I would like to talk, speaking of taking the pressure off yourself, there's there is pressure right now because, life insurance rates, they go up. Every year you wait to buy, they go up. And if you buy it now, it locks in. You can't be young enough to buy yourself some life insurance if you, especially I'm going to say if you have a child. Once you have a child, get immediately to policygenius.com because these people, they're going to rely on you for income. Your wife, even if you're just married, your wife or your husband is not going to be in a condition to live their life when they've just had the biggest life change they could possibly go through. So help them out. Right now, you can save 50% more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. You could save $1,300 or more per year on life insurance by using Policy Genius to compare policies. It's easy. They get like a dozen of the top insurers, and then you go to town. You say, I like this one, I don't like that one. Who looks the best? It's pretty easy to look at it and know which one you want to go with. I perused the site, and I'll tell you something. They've gotten 5-star reviews from Trustpilot and Google. No accident. So anyway, it was rated #1 by Forbes. It's easy to get started. You go to policygenius.com. In minutes, you work out how much coverage you need. You compare personalized quotes. You find the best price. And when you're ready to apply, here's the best part, Allison. The Policy Genius team will handle the paperwork and scheduling for free.
I love that because I hate paperwork.
Yeah, but don't you like it when people sell your information to other companies?
I don't, Greg.
Well, Policy Genius will never do it.
Okay, good, because I hate that.
They also don't add on extra fees. So head to policygenius.com to get started right now. Policy Genius, when it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right.
I need to do this. Every day I don't do it, the price goes up and I become a less and less responsible human being.
I still can't believe you don't have it.
I know. No one can believe
it's not that expensive. It's really not.
I know. Like, especially like the point you're making is great. At this point in life, it's not that expensive. But if you wait, it gets more and more expensive.
Yes. And I'm not bailing your fucking kids out. All right, I will. I will.
Thank you. Listen, Greg, should we do some news?
Yes.
All right.
Time for the news.
This past year has been pretty tough for students, Greg, and a new law in California gives students ways to repair low grades from the pandemic year. So this is AB 104, which was signed into law Thursday by Newsom. And it allows kindergarten through 12th grade students to have a variety of options to make up for the bad year if they had a bad year. So here are the options. If students are not passing at least half of their courses, they can just retake the grade. If high school students want to change their letter grade to a pass or no pass to minimize a negative impact on college admissions or financial aid, they can. Either the parents would have to do that or the student if they're 18 or older. And then students who were juniors or seniors during this last year can just retake the year, or they can do an additional year. They can do a 5th year of high school to complete their graduation requirements. So that's great. That being said, if I had to repeat a year or do a 5th year of high school, I would walk into the ocean. But I'm glad they have these options.
Well, it depends on, what you're looking at. Sometimes a kid might have a scholarship set up, and then in the last semester, if they dip, they can lose their scholarship. So this way, maybe they can go back and retake it, or like you said, do pass-fail. I know that the way it was set up before was that there was a cutoff date for kids to say whether or not they wanted to be pass-fail in a class. So like say you were taking AP chemistry or something, and you felt like the score was going to help you, your grade was going to help you, then you would keep it. And then if it was below a certain amount, then you call it pass fail, and it doesn't go into your GPA. It doesn't affect your GPA if it's pass fail.
Got it. Right. So I guess they're extending that now.
Right. Well, that's good. Can I go back and change my bio grade from 10th grade?
Yeah. Do you want to repeat bio, or do you want to just make it pass fail?
Oh, no, I definitely want to go back into a high school class.
And do it again.
And do it again with those hot, young high school girls. I'm kidding, Allison.
Do you remember your biology teacher's name?
Mr. Brown. Dick Brown.
Dick Brown. Oh, my God. An amazing name. I'm trying to remember mine. Mr. Geary was one of them, and I forget the other one. Did you like bio?
I hated it because I'm a very literal person.
Mm-hmm.
And biology, it requires you to suspend literal thinking and to think figuratively, like the Krebs cycle. And they talk about things that are so small they haven't been seen, and then somehow you're supposed to just trust that they know that this is exactly how this works on a molecular level. And I was going, I would just get stuck. I would just go, wait, but how do you know? But how do you know? I just kept racing through my head. So I was never able to just go, okay, let's all pretend for an hour every day. No. I want math.
Love that you're regarding science as if it were religion.
Very much so. That's the same way I feel about religion.
Yeah. I think they have seen these things, but I get that you hadn't seen these things.
I couldn't see it.
The Krebs cycle, if I remember correctly, that's how a cell gets energy from sugar, right?
Okay.
ATP and Krebs cycle and so what's the word? For when your metabolism, how a cell metabolizes sugar, I think.
Okay.
I remember that being confusing as well, and also thinking this feels advanced for high school. But
yes.
I use it every day, Greg.
As a matter of fact, here's my story. I went to public school until 9th grade. And I was an outstanding student, having done no work because I was in one of the worst school systems in the country. And so I showed up to this private high school, which I got into. They have a standardized test that you take, and I guess I scored okay on that, so they let me in, even though I literally went from one of the worst grammar schools in the country to one of the most difficult high schools in the country. And
that sounds hard.
And they thought I was so smart because of my grades that they stuck me right into biology. No, it was freshman year I took biology. So I went straight into it. So I'm taking French, which in order to learn a foreign language, you have to understand what a verb and a predicate and a subject and pluperfect. I didn't know those things in English. So not only am I learning different words for a language, I'm learning the basics of grammar for the first time while I got the Krebs cycle running through my head. And so I had all D's in algebra, but Dick Brown was my advisor. So he liked me. He called me a man's man to my parents. He said, your son's a man's man.
When you were 13 or 14?
When I was 14 years old. And he said, the other boys follow him. He's a leader. He's a good man, but he's bad at biology because he can't let go of the literal interpretation of everything. So
you were a man's man at 14.
Man's man. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Biology is one of those ones that you really don't use unless you go into certain fields. I mean, I think it's good that we know it, but it doesn't come up that often in my
Well, I guess if you want to understand stuff like diet and exercise and things like that, that's all biology. There's, the basics are in there.
Right.
Giving your partner an orgasm. That's all in there.
Bio. That's bio, baby.
Yeah.
Greg, do you have a news story?
I do. In 2018, Sarah Sharp faced a devastating diagnosis. She had cancer, and doctors believed originated from her first pregnancy. You ever heard of that?
cancer from a pregnant? No.
Yeah, it's
I
called
haven't.
choriocarcinoma. Choriocarcinoma. Very rare. So she had she wanted to have another child. So what she did was her twin sister, Catherine, told her that she would do it.
She would sleep with her husband? Sleep with her twin's husband?
Oh, they
'Cause
didn't
I don't know
get
that that's
into
very
that.
supportive.
See, now that's the thing, is because the other one, she had a hysterectomy, so that to get rid of the cancer, she had to have a hysterectomy.
Mhm.
So the sister carried the baby. It doesn't say how she was.
I'm sure she didn't have actual biological sex with the husband. I'm sure it was like a turkey baster situation.
But what if? Just put yourself in this situation. Now, say you're Sarah Sharp. You don't have a lot of money. You've had cancer. That probably wiped out your life savings.
Yeah.
You don't have the hundreds of thousands of dollars it would take to get a turkey baster.
Right. And also, after having a hysterectomy, probably my sex drive is depressed. I'm depressed and my sex drive is depressed.
Which means your husband's depressed.
He's depressed and he's bugging me for some. And
And
I don't want to put out.
And this is a twin sister. She looks exactly
Right.
like you. Is that even cheating? Is it cheating?
I mean, look, if he's going to be fantasizing about someone else, I'd rather it be someone who looks just like me.
Exactly. You go out to
So-
dinner, you order lobster, you get twin lobsters. You eat them both. You don't
And-
say, I can't have this other one because I had the first one.
It's weird. I feel like under most circumstances, I would not agree that this is a great idea. But you've caught me at an unusual time, Greg. And right now, I do think the twin sister having actual sex with the husband seems like a win-win for everyone.
I feel like it's a money saver, that's for sure. I mean, if you're a coupon clipper,
Yeah,
have
which
sex with
probably
your
is.
have sex with your wife's sister if she's had this disease.
Yeah, this only applies if you had to have a hysterectomy because of an extremely rare cancer from being pregnant.
Yeah.
Chorio, I think, is a reference. I don't know why I've decided to do some etymology because I don't know, but I think that has to do with the placenta. So
Choriocarcinoma.
cancer. Well, I think that has to do with placenta. So anyway, okay. So the twin sister gets knocked up.
Yeah.
I mean, that in terms of the DNA of the kid, that's going to be almost identical, if not identical.
It's going to be as close to identical as you can get. And now the
Yeah.
child has an aunt and a mother in the same person.
It's Chinatown.
She's my sister. She's my mother. She's my sister. She's my mother. She's my sister.
Both.
Yeah.
My sister and my mother. Yeah. Wow. Well, did it work out for all of them? Do they all get along? Is Sarah resentful?
It doesn't say. This just happened.
Oh. Okay.
So we'll do a checkup. We'll do a follow-up, I mean.
Owen looks so much like Daniel. So much like Daniel. And he's blonde and blue-eyed. And he doesn't look a lot like me. And I do wonder, since I've been so public about having done IVF with the kids, I wonder if people are like, I bet she used an egg donor for Owen. And I didn't. It supposedly he is my child, but I've yet to see evidence of it.
Why would you have used an egg donor?
A lot of people use egg donors if they're having trouble getting pregnant with their own eggs. Then they use an
Really?
egg donor. It's very common.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Why, the idea is that maybe your body's rejecting your own eggs?
The idea is that your egg quality affects the success of the pregnancy a lot.
Oh.
So if your eggs are not that great, if you're older, or there can be all sorts of reasons that it can be tough with your own eggs, then donor eggs will allow you to get pregnant pretty fast. And you can oftentimes allow you to get pregnant pretty fast. And you can, I mean, I didn't look into it, but I know people who have done it. And you can choose someone who looks like you to the best of your ability.
Someone from Harvard that looks like you.
Yeah. You can select the traits.
Yeah.
So there you go. I do wonder, did they mess up and create, like, is Owen, should I do a DNA test?
Yeah, I would.
I want to know whether to continue loving him or not.
Well, you can still love him, but you can also get a couple mil from the company that scrambled your eggs.
Yes. There's my insurance policy.
I'll tell you what'll make you love your kid. Him becoming a millionaire.
Well, wouldn't I become the millionaire?
No, they probably give the money to the kid.
What bullshit.
I know.
Let's do some highs and... Oops, I just touched something. Things seem okay, though. Let's do some highs and lows.
Okay.
Highs and lows. Do you want to start?
My high is my niece came to visit. My niece Julia, who's my sister who I'm very close to, who lives in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Her daughter Julia, who's a year older than my son Owen, came to visit. She just graduated from SUNY Oneonta, or Stonianta as they call it.
I've never heard of this school, and I am sort of familiar with the SUNY.
That's their running joke because nobody's ever heard of their school.
Okay.
But, the SUNY schools are actually very good. They're all these public schools, public colleges in New York. You got SUNY Oneonta, SUNY Utica, SUNY Binghamton apparently is the best one. That's where her brother goes. SUNY Purchase, which is where my wife goes. SUNY Albany, SUNY Plattsburgh, and then there's a SUNY Manhattan, I believe.
Huh. Wait, your wife is going there now?
What's the matter with you?
She could be doing a correspondence course.
Oh, no. She went there when she was a young lady, like yourself.
Like I am now. Thank you. Okay.
So
All
anyway.
Right. So SUNY Oneonta.
So these chicks jump in the car, and they're dead set on getting a DUI in every state as they drive across the country. That seems they've got a funnel in the car, a beer bong.
Oh, my God.
And they're drinking beer bongs in every state. They're getting stickers from every state and slapping them on the beer bong. And, they visited Graceland. They did the whole thing. They toured the country.
That sounds fun.
And then they came and they stayed with us for 5 nights, and we had an absolute blast. It was so fun to be around young people that were just like, they just have that attitude of like, hey, you guys, you want me to show you the meat packing plant downtown? They'd be like, yeah, let's go. Let's grab some beers. Like, no matter what you want to do, they're up for it. And, they got us out there. They were surfing, and we went hiking, and we went on a barbecue, and we did yoga on the beach, and it was just so much fun. And I just love my niece. She's just such a wonderful girl. She's outgoing, and she's smart, and parties hard. I brought them all to a comedy show that I was doing, and they all came out, and I made fun of them from the stage, and they got a big kick out of that. And, it was really cool. And then they partied with my kids, of course. My daughter did a beer bong.
How do you feel about this?
Well, it had to be done. I knew it was going to happen, and it happened. But it was cool. I think my daughter had a lot of fun hanging out with these college girls.
Yeah. And Owen, remind me, he's in town or he's not?
He's here. He was loving it. Yeah, I think one of the friends she was traveling with had a bit of a crush on Owen because he took them surfing, and his body's pretty ripped. He's got like the body that if I could pick a body at that age, it would be his.
Right.
Lean and mean, cut.
After I fight John Matthews, I'll fight him.
You want to get in the ring with my son?
Yeah, I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to take him on. Look, Greg, I strength trained for 17 minutes. I'm ready. Don't doubt me. My high is I took Elliot to school this morning.
Oh.
He started school again.
Nice.
And I got up at 7:30.
Wait a minute. Wait. Slow down a second. It's July 4th week. It's July 5th, and you took your kid to school? Isn't this
July
between?
6th.
Isn't this between school?
So this school is year round, but it's like the summer program.
Okay,
now.
got it.
So it's the same. The school year, the real school year will start in September, but I'm actually a little confused because he's with the kids that he will then do pre-K with. But I don't know if it's like he had the option of starting now or if all the kids were starting now.
Got it.
But anyway, he started.
Wow. Big deal.
Yeah. So we packed his little lunchbox last night and laid out his clothes. And he knew that he had to go to bed earlier than normal since we had to get up early. And he was like, should I get in bed now? He was very amenable to going to bed early, which is more mature than I expected he would be, because usually he fights going to bed. And then, I set the alarm, and it was just nice to feel like we're doing something again. And he had the best time. When we first walked in, his eyes were wide and he was just kind of taking it all in. Like, I think he was overwhelmed. But then the teacher told me that she said to him, "What did you miss most about school?" And he said painting. So then they went and did some painting, and yeah, it's nice to get back to that. And then I had some alone time with Owen, which was nice. Yeah. So that was my high.
So were they all new kids to him?
No, I'd say about half of them he already knows. And then half of them are different because a lot of the kids who he was in school with before, not a lot, but some of them like moved across country. Some of them
died of
stopped going
COVID.
entirely.
Yeah.
None of them died of COVID that I know. But yeah, it is interesting just that being just one of those small casualties of COVID. Just the
preschool set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked those parents too.
Yeah.
It's
the whole families. The whole families died.
They all perished.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to tell them.
I think like 0 kids under the age of 6 died of COVID, by the way.
Is that true?
I don't know.
hope
Not
so.
0, but I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look up how many kids under the age of any kids under
Yeah, I'm
10 died
relying
of
on it not
COVID.
being that bad for kids.
Doesn't say. That was a good use of time on the podcast.
Yeah, I am glad that we decided to look it up live. What's your low, Greg?
My low, well, it's a weird low because it's not a pure low. It has elements of highs, elements of lows. But my daughter, who, has had a boyfriend for a year now,
Yeah.
who we like very much. She's very responsible. He's the shift leader at the CVS or the shift supervisor at the CVS that he's worked at for years. And he goes to college up in Sonoma. Sonoma. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, he took my daughter up there on a trip this week. So it's the first time that she's gone off with him. It's only the second day. 2 or 3 weeks ago, she went away with 4 of her friends, and they stayed in one of their parents' like beach houses for like 4 days. That was her first time ever being away without us.
Oh, wow.
Not in a camp, but like, with friends, unsupervised.
Right.
And now she like got in his car and they drove up the coast and they're staying there. And it's kind of a low because I miss her a lot, especially since it's a 4th of July holiday. I'm used to having her around. And I also feel like growing pains.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm not ready for this yet. I'm not ready that she's 18 in a few days. And, this is it. She's like a grown up. She can make adult decisions and she can do adult things. And she's my little girl. And so I'm kind of having a hard time with it.
Yeah. Are they staying in hotels?
No, I guess one of his friends has an apartment, so they're staying in that apartment.
How does Erin feel about it?
She's all about it. She's excited that she's, doing grown up things.
Right.
I think I always have a harder time with her, especially anything related to boyfriend is always hard for me. I think dads have a hard time with the boyfriend stuff.
Yeah. I'm still pissed about this. My parents would not let me drive up the coast with my friend Trevor, who we've only ever been platonic friends. And we were really good. He's the one that I went to prom with as friends. they wouldn't let me. We had planned to drive up the coast the summer between high school and college, and they wouldn't let me go because of appearances. How would it look if we checked into hotels together? And I'm like, who gives a fuck? Why does it matter? Since when do you guys care about appearances? And I'm still pissed.
I can hear it in your voice.
I know.
Is Trevor gay?
No, he's married.
But your parents are Jewish. That sounds like a Catholic thing.
It seemed really hypocritical to me, or really, it just seemed surprising because they preached not caring what people think. But then as I've gotten older, I realize more and more how much they really did care what other people think.
Yeah.
They didn't want to, but they did.
Right.
But I think they didn't trust that we were just friends and didn't want me to be in a hotel alone with a guy. I mean, I think that's what it just was, as simple as that. And they dressed it up with all these other reasons, but I think that's what it was. Even though I guaranteed them, like, I don't think of him that way, but
even if you did, isn't it weird, like, that parents of a certain age at a certain time would rather their kids are what, like, in the woods in the dark having sex, or like cramped in the back of a car where a fucking cop or a serial killer can show up? Like,
yeah, I don't understand. That was the other thing, is I was 18. So I was like, I don't understand. Like, I'm in 2 months, I'm going away to college where I can do whatever I want. And my mom was just like, it's just different.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, lady. Well, Milo.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Elliot has a cavity and has to get a filling.
Oh boy.
Only 4. He has his teeth in front are fused, not the very front tooth, but like he has an extra tooth and it's kind of fused, and it creates this area that's like hard to keep clean. So it kind of traps stuff. And the dentist, discovered that it seemed like there was a little bit of decay at the very beginning of the pandemic. And there was this question of like, should we just keep an eye on it, or should we do this thing called sodium diamine fluoride, which SDF, which is they paint it on the tooth and it stops the cavity or the decay from getting worse, but it turns it black. So it's
Really?
So it's a real Sophie's choice tooth-wise.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know what to do, because it would definitely stop it from getting worse, but it'll turn it black and he'll have a black spot on his teeth until these teeth fall out. So I don't know what to do. So I didn't do anything and we just came back. She wanted to see us 4 months later. Like, we were just going to keep an eye on it, but every time we would come back for them to look at it, they wanted to take x-rays. And so I'm like, now I don't know what to do, because I feel like we're doing a lot of x-rays, and especially when they take x-rays on little kids, they have to take a lot of extras because they never seem to get it right the first time because the kid moves or whatever. So anyway, I'm like finally ready to get it treated, but now it's gotten so much worse that they can't paint the stuff on and turn it black anymore. They have to just do a filling. But she said that it's up to me whether they numb it or not, and that they seem to do really well without numbing, which really boggles my mind. I just feel like I need more information, because how are they okay without it being numbed? It seems like it would hurt.
Is the cavity in an exposed area, or is it like between the two teeth?
It's behind his front teeth to the side.
So they would just do a local, like a Novocaine or something shot.
She said that they can do it. They can do it without that.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
I need to find out more. There also are like laser drills now. They sometimes use a laser, and that they don't. I need to find out what's going on. I just need more information.
I think it's good though. Like, you know why you're cute with a black tooth? What do you know? Everybody's gonna make fun of him.
Yeah.
Hey, black tooth. You know?
Right. I don't like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really not that big a deal. We're lucky that it's just a filling and that they can fix it, hopefully, and then it'll be, done. And then these teeth will fall out and then he'll get his adult teeth. I'm really going into the future here with this. I feel like I neglected the situation, and because of that, now he has to have a more extensive procedure than if I had just acted initially. Most likely, you wouldn't have really seen it from the front.
Got it.
It's not that big. It's not that big a deal.
That's tough though as a parent because you're forced to make decisions, and I was never the one to make them. Erin is so good about like, all right, we're making this decision. We're going to do this thing or not. And I've always been like you. I'm just sort of like, let me think about it a little bit more. Let me keep thinking about it.
I wish Erin had been with me. I said to Daniel, I feel like somehow I didn't understand what was going on here enough to make the decision. So like I might need you to get involved in the dentist stuff because I'm not seeing it clearly. I'm not thinking clearly. And he actually would have gone with me. It's just because of the pandemic, they only wanted one parent at a time. I don't know. It'll be okay.
Okay.
There's something I want to tell our listeners, and that's if they would like to call in, we take voicemails and we play them on the show. Today we're not going to, but we do normally because we're running out of time. But the number is 805-317-4243. And also
And that spells chat with childish.
Yeah. It's funny because chat with childish seems like a really long, but it's not. It's perfectly 10
No, it doesn't
digits.
spell that. I wish we could. We still haven't found out something it spells. Give the number again for the people.
805-317-4243.
Okay. In case they don't have a rewind button on their podcast device.
Or in case they don't have access to the internet, where you can just go to childishpod.com, hit that contact tab, and you'll get all of our information. Follow us on social media at childishpod on Twitter and Instagram. We're a fun follow. And then also, please leave us a nice comment. Click 5 stars. We read them, and we read them on the show. Do we have any emails, Greg?
You wrote.
Hi, Allison. I appreciated your reluctance to share something on the latest episode that could have been considered anti-vax while at the same time wanting to acknowledge legitimate concerns with a new vaccine. Let me start by saying I'm not a doctor. Okay, that's where I go. Okay, done with that note. That was from Erin. This next one is from Joy.
She went on to explain her understanding, and ultimately you do want to get the vaccine for your kid.
Okay.
That's where that one went.
Good. This one comes from Joy. Hello. Thank you for your wonderful podcasts. I appreciate how honest you both are about taking your lives back from alcohol. At the end of April, I decided to join you in alcohol-free life after 24 years of wasting far too much time, money, and headaches. My question is how... Bless you.
I'm allergic to sincerity.
My question is, how did you explain your new AF life to others? What's
New
AF?
as fuck. That's what that means.
At 39 years old, my family and friends expect me to drink at most occasions, and as we begin to socialize again post-COVID, I'm unsure exactly what to say. It's a sad statement on our society's relationship with alcohol that people expect you to have a horror story or a rock bottom to tell, and that they deserve to hear before you would consider wanting to stop consuming. Here's what I would say to you. Sure, there's things I've done, she says, while I'm drunk that I'm not proud of, but I don't have a significant story or turning point. No divorce, no losing my kids, no being fired, no DUI, no barroom fight, nothing exciting.
Bragging.
Yeah. Here's what you got to do. Come up with a story for each of those things and then say that, you don't understand. Be like a Vietnam vet. You couldn't understand. When say to them, when you're grounding one out in the dirt behind a dive bar on Route 6, and you got a handful of hair and a handful of teeth, and the only thing keeping you down is the thought that you got to have another drink after this, that's when you got to step up and stop. Now pass the seltzer water, bitch.
Yes. Also, you will find that other people are not going to be up your buns as much as you think they are. I didn't drink the entire time I was on the Adam Carolla show. I didn't drink, and no one ever seemed to notice. And they would always offer me a beer, and I'd be like, "Oh no, thanks." And they'd ask how many what is my point? My point is, you don't have to explain I don't drink anymore. You can if you want, but you can also just say like, "Oh, I'm on a health kick. Oh, I have to get up early. Oh, I'm taking antibiotics." There's all sorts of things you can say if you don't want to get into it all the time.
You could just say, you know what? I'm too old for the hangovers anymore. Even one drink knocks me out. Now hand me one of those edibles.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But good for you.
Good for you. All right. That's it. We did it.
Oh my God. We did it again, Greg.
It seems like we do it week in and week out, and yet there's never an acknowledgement from Rolling Stone magazine that we've done it again. When are they going to publish the amount of weeks we've done it?
When you took the words out of my mouth.
When is People Magazine going to show you in a pair of Uggs and a giant Starbucks cup and say they're just like us?
And giant sunglasses.
Yes.
That's right. Podcasters, they're just like us. When is the Today Show third hour going to feature us?
When is Good Morning America going to go, hey, you know what? Let's swap out our host for this week. Let's get rid of this gap-toothed football player and bring in this gap-toothed stand-up comedian.
That's right. And then Kelly Ripa can just take a rest and have... When is The View going to call both you and me up to be Meghan McCain?
Oh, imagine that. Oh, hold on. It's my wife. Let's put her on.
Oh, great.
Hey, baby.
What's happening?
Nothing. What's going on?
I'm checking in with you. I'm about to go to yoga.
Oh, I may make it. Yeah, I'll make it. I'll see you there.
Okay, cool.
Bring me a mat.
A mat? Okay.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Sunset Yoga on the beach. That's got my name on it.
How cute are you guys?
Right?
Doing yoga together on the beach?
Yep. But it starts in 30 minutes, so I got to go.
Oh, well, sorry. I didn't mean to hold you up, Greg.
Allison, it's been such a pleasure.
It is always a pleasure. Tell everyone what they should be looking out for, won't you?
Well, why don't you guys check out, I got some dates coming out. I'm going to be in New Jersey at Bananas in Rutherford, August 6th and 7th. And then I'm going to be in Golden, Colorado, which is just outside of Denver, on August 26th through the 28th. Sacramento Punchline, September 16th through 18th. Tickets for all of these performances available at fitzdog.com, where you can also find links for the Sunday Papers podcast, Fitzdog Radio, and pins and DVDs.
And check out Allison Rosen's Your New Best Friend. Last week I had Chris Hansen in the news. I had Chris Hansen on my show.
Damn.
And then what?
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then this week I had Matt Loughlin, who wrote the book. It was called Two Kisses for Maddie. It was a memoir about his, it's very sad. His wife died 27 hours after she gave birth to their daughter. And that book has been turned into the #1 Netflix movie, Fatherhood, which stars Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart plays Matt. And I just had him on the show. Really good episode. Thursday is a very fun one. Ricky Lindholm, Jordan Morris. And also, if you haven't